Good morning, everyone. We are live. We're live and we're back. It's so great to be back. We've been to the other side of the world and back. Of course, spending a week in Dubai. Lots of deals in Dubai. Dubai is like the best place to do business. Almost, period. I mean, you see Trump over there really killing it with this Middle Eastern tour. Really is just something else. It really is amazing. Good morning, money makers, crypto crusaders, and caffeine connoisseurs. Welcome to the Impact Money Show, coming to you live from Washington, D.C., where the politics are spicy and the markets are spicier. Let's start out with the weather because nothing screams carpe diem like knowing if you need a raincoat or shades. It's a comfy 66 degrees out there with zero chance of rain, perfect for strutting to a Capitol Hill meeting or dodging those pesky lobbyists. Humidity's at a muggy 95%. So your hair's probably staging a coup, and the wind's sluggish 1 mile per hour, like it's still hungover from last night's happy hour. Of course, that's pretty much par for the course here in the swamp. Before we dive into the world of the markets, AI, wars, and political drama, let's loosen up with the joke. Why did the Bitcoin trader quit their job? They wanted to hodl their dreams instead. One more. Why is Ethereum so bad at stand-up comedy? Its gas fees kill the punchline. All right, grab your coffee because today's show is a wild ride, and I'm slightly over-caffeinated. The markets, stocks and crypto take a breather. Let's kick off things with the markets where the stocks and cryptos are both looking like they need a nap after a wild party. U.S. stock futures are wobbling like a toddler on a sugar crash. Dow futures are at 41,947, down 170 points or 0.4%, with an implied opening of negative 184. The S&P 500 futures are at about 5869, off 39.5 points or 0.67%, implying a negative 42.87 open. NASDAQ futures are the grumpiest, down 188 points or 0.88% to 21,204 with an implied opening of negative 195. The markets are muttering, can we just fast forward to the weekends? I mean, we're close. We're close. Heck, I almost pushed the whole week to the weekend. Actually, I got back from Dubai and I was feeling fine. And I blamed it on one of the moms at my daughter's school, but I don't know. I don't know if I got something on that plane. The plane was full of Indian people leaving the Pakistan-India war. That was before Trump had negotiated the ceasefire, and the plane was packed. I don't know. Maybe I got something. But, finally starting to feel better. I messaged Matt Dixon last night, who will join us in a few minutes, and I said, okay, I still don't feel that great, but let's just do it. Let's get back in the saddle and do it. Now let's talk crypto because the digital gold rush is hitting a speed bump after Bitcoin's epic pump past $100,000 again. Bitcoin is at 101,700, about bouncing around, down 0.64 today. 1.73 it's down over the last 24 hours. And that didn't make sense. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's not doing too well. Has a market cap currently of $2 trillion. And it's $43 billion in trading volume. Ethereum is not faring much better at 25.28, down 1% today. Those gas fees are stinging. I wonder if they're ever going to fix that. It's supposed to be fixed. It's not really fixed, though. Slow. Well, not as slow as Bitcoin. XRP is at $2.46, down 1.13% today. While BNB holding steady, just off at 0.6. BNB, I've been talking about BNB a bit. I think BNB is the big mover here, guys. I think CZ behind BNB is really going to push this thing. Solana, of course, always doing its thing. 169.98, down 1.36. Touched 180, 181. over the last few days. And Doggy Coin, the Doggy Coin, or Dogecoin as some people like to call it, it's a crowd favorite. The Dogecoin is at 22 cents, down 0.88%. But Elon Musk is still posting about it, and that always makes it pump. The crypto market's been a roller coaster, soaring past 3.5 trillion market cap last week before this pullback. Why the dip? Profit taking after the pump, plus Trump tariffs threat spooking risk assets, but don't panic. People are buzzing with buy the dip energy, and whale wallets are scooping up Bitcoin like it's on clearance. Long term, crypto is still a rocket ship, especially with DeFi and Web3 projects like Sui and Chainlink gaining traction. Keep an eye on regulatory headlines. Congress is sniffing around again, and that could shake things up a bit. Back to the traditional markets. The US dollar on the DXY is slipping 0.3% to 100.73, and it's down 0.62% against the Japanese yen at 145.84. Gold's off 0.6% to 31.67. Still just massive move from when we started the show. Silver down 1.17% at 32.06. And WTI crudes in a nosedive, down 4% today to 60.55. Asian markets are mostly red, and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is at 23,453, down 0.79%. It's a grumpy morning globally, but savvy investors know volatility is just an opportunity in disguise. I had a great time trading, to be honest, yesterday. A wonderful day. I had to close my positions because I just had to go to sleep, folks. I knew I had to get myself better. I had to go to sleep. But of course, if I had kept those positions open, I would even be happier right now, but maybe not as rested. In AI and robotics, the future's got swagger. Let's shift gears to the tech that's making markets look like child's play. AI and robotics, the future's here, and it's serving looks and logic. This week's AI is stealing the show. OpenAI's new model is crafting novels that could make Hemingway jealous, while Google's DeepMind is optimizing energy grids like it's playing Sim City on God mode. In robotics, Boston Dynamics Spot is strutting through factories, and Japan's SoftBank is rolling out humanoid caregivers that cook, clean, and get this, they crack dad jokes. Why did the robot join the band? It had the best circuits. Pretty funny, right? In finance, AI is the new king. Hedge funds using machine learning are posting 15% returns. I guess we're supposed to be impressed with that. Smoking humans, traders stuck at 8%. I don't know what kind of traders those are. The catch, these algorithms are so complex, even their coders are like, it just works. Crypto's getting in on the action too. AI-driven trading bots are pumping DeFi yields. Though ex-users warn of scams, robotics stocks are hot, but supply chain snarls and ethical debates are keeping things spicy. If you're investing, AI and robotics are your ticket to the moon. Just don't expect a smooth ride. I mean, isn't that always the case, right? Not going to be smooth. Might be. You might like it. You might like the result. Ain't going to be smooth. Elon Musk, crypto's BFF and the deal machine. Speaking of moonshots, let's talk Elon Musk, the guy who's basically a meme token in human form. He's in Saudi Arabia right now, riding shotgun on Trump's Middle East deal spree, charming investors with his curiosity philosophy. Saudi officials are calling him a lifetime partner, which probably means build us a gigafactory, please. Musk also pushing his Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, yeah, like the coin, doggy, claiming 160 billion in savings, though critics say it's more hype than substance. Crypto fans love Musk. He's been tweeting about Doggy Coin again, and every time he does, Doggy pumps. The Doge pumps like it's 2021. Tesla's still accepting Bitcoin for cars, and there's a buzz on X that SpaceX might integrate blockchain for Starlink payments. But Tesla's stock is tanking, down big on tariff fears and slowing EV demands. Musk, he's too busy memeing and closing deals to care. The man's a chaos engine, and we're all on the ride. President Trump's closing deals and stirring the pot. Now let's zoom in on the man of the hour, Mr. President Trump, who's turning the Middle East into his personal deal closing casino. He's racking up trade agreements, $600 billion from Saudi Arabia, $1.4 trillion over there in Qatar, and whispers of a $1 trillion mega deal. That's not just money, it's jobs, it's growth, and America first on steroids. Trump's pitching a lot of different things. And it's interesting how he kind of pivoted before he went over there, right? He's playing diplomat, pushing Gaza ceasefire and Iran nuclear talks while lifting Syria sanctions to give peace a chance. Critics call it chaotic. Supporters call it genius. Either way, Trump's moving at warp speed, and the world's scrambling to keep up. Crypto's on his radar, too. He says he's eyeing a blockchain for government efficiency, which could send altcoins like Tron soaring, if true. As you may know, the Tron founder, Justin Sun, is the prime minister of Liberland. See my flag up there. Liberland. Liberland.org. Go check them out. We actually just sponsored the Crypto Mondays event. We did it at Brock Pierce's place here in DC on Monday. Obviously. On Monday. Haha. Liberland. The Ukraine war is grinding on. Globally, the Ukraine war is a grim stalemate. Russia's hammering away, but Ukraine's holding firm with Western tech and sheer grit. Trump's team is pushing peace talks in Turkey, but Putin's playing hardball. A U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal is a small win, but Trump's walkaway vibe has allies like Ukraine and some of the others pretty nervous. Crypto is playing a role here. Bitcoin donations are funding the resistance, the Ukrainian resistance, with multiple tens of millions of dollars raised. The Israeli-Palestinian crisis, it's a moral quagmire. Then there's the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where genocide is just a word echoing with devastating weight. Israel's Gaza offensive has killed tens of thousands, displaced millions, and leveled communities. The UN's crying foul. South Africa is pushing genocide case, and the Palestinians are caught in a humanitarian nightmare. Israel is planning a wide-scale attack to seize Gaza, with talk of voluntary displacement to clear space, as they now say that they are going to hold and they are going to take it. Netanyahu says it's about the hostages. Critics say it's about ethnic cleansing. Doesn't really appear to be about the hostages. Trump was able to get the last American out of there without him. Seems like he could have done that himself. Trump is pushing a ceasefire, but his envoy is juggling many crises around the world. The world is watching, and the stakes could not be higher. People are dying every day. The Trump-Netanyahu drama, Netanyahu, of course, changed his name. His real name is like Polakov or something like that. He's a Polish guy. So now he calls himself Netanyahu. Trump-Netanyahu drama, real or staged? Now, I kind of go back and forth on this because speaking of stakes, let's dish into the Trump and Polakov Netanyahu soap opera. These two were once BFFs, supposedly, right? But now it's all in shade and side eyes. Boombastic side eye, like my daughter likes to say. Bibi's mad Trump skipped Israel on his tour and paused the Yemen strikes and cozied up to Iran. When the Houthis missiles hit near Tel Aviv, Trump's inaction left Polakov or Netanyahu fuming. Gaza is another sore spot. This guy wants war. Bibi wants war. Trump wants peace and profits. Here's my theory. This rift smells like a scripted act. I hate to say it. Trump's playing good cop to lock in the Gulf deals, letting Polakov, or whatever his name is, be the bad cop. Those $1 trillion agreements need Saudi, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates buy-in. Distancing from Israel war helps. It's 4D chess. and Trump's got the board tilted his way. Real or fake, time will tell. But my money is on. It's all part of the show, folks. Congress. Johnson's fumble, crypto's future. Back home, Congress is a mess. Speaker Johnson's pushing another anti-Semitism bill, which feels like a solution looking for a problem. Why special laws when equal laws should do? I mean, everyone should be equal. And where's the vote to make Trump's DOGE cuts law? Everyone's screaming that he's compromised and calling for Johnson to go. Congress was in session 70 days during Biden's first 100, but only 44 days for Trump's. So think about that. Congress was in session for 70 days during Biden's first 100 days, and only 44 for Trump's. They're stalling, and the clock's ticking away towards the midterms. If they lose the House and the Senate, cue the impeachments 3.0. And if you think I'm joking, bookmark this, because that's exactly what will happen. They'll be impeaching President Trump faster than you can say Speaker Johnson is compromised. The big picture, opportunity or chaos. So what's the vibe? Stocks and crypto are dipping, but smart money's buying. AI and robotics are rewriting the future. Musk and Trump are deal-making dynamos. And global conflicts are testing our resolve. Congress is a circus, but Trump's Middle East win could flood the U.S. with cash. Crypto's volatile, but BTC over 100K and DeFi rise scream the bull run ain't over. Grab your portfolio, watch those headlines, and let's make some impact. We've got a killer show ahead. I have with me the great Matt Dixon here with the Market Watch Report. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Bruce. Great to be with you. Let me get myself on the screen there. Yeah, all good, thank you. It's been, nice to have a little bit of a break, and I'm glad everything went well in Dubai.
Thanks, man. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too, so look forward to catch up soon. I'm going to share my screen straight away. We've got loads to catch up on as well.
Perfect.
Let me just see. It's been a long time, a week since we did this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trusting you can see my screen there now.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. Looking at United Healthcare. So we know Andrew Whitty, the old CEO, has been pushed out. They're under criminal investigation now, and we can see the massive dive down in United Health here. So obviously this is a major interest to US investors, I guess.
Yep.
Just interesting to see how our indicators worked, how accurate they were, and whether we could have predicted any of this. Well, clearly, from the top over here on the left, you can see where my cursor is, where it was the price was about 630. Currently, we're down at 308. So you can see it's halved, more than halved in value. But clearly, you can see we've got 5 waves down. And it's lovely, this. I mean, basically, we've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now, wave 3 was exactly 2.618 times wave 1. That's a solid extension, Fibonacci extension. You have 1.618 is a golden ratio, 2.618 is a big extension, very, very important Fibonacci extension. So we've got a perfect wave 1, 2, 3. Wave 4 is a clear A, B, C for wave 4. Clearly wave 4 doesn't dip into territory of wave 1. And then we've got a wave 5 down. So that was a beautiful 5 waves down. Now, whenever you see 5 waves down from a top like that, you know you're going to get then 3 waves higher. So clearly that's what we got. We got, just move this over a little bit, we got basically a very clear 3 waves higher in the form of an ABC. It is 3 waves higher, ABC. It didn't go beyond the start, the origin of this move. So we've got 5 waves down, 3 up. Now, when you get 5 waves down, 3 waves up, you then know you are going to get 5 waves down, and they're going to be quite aggressive. C waves are in 5 waves. It's going to be aggressive. This is what's called a zigzag 5, 3, 5. So we knew from this point here, we're going to get a turn down. And what really cemented it for us was the fact that we had our old friend, hidden bearish divergence. So we got lower highs in price and higher highs in corresponding RSI, with RSI moving up to massively overbought situation with this correction higher. So all the signs were there. The signals were shouting out that we're going to get a strong push down. And just look what happened. So you could have sold here. The moment you see a red candle, you could have sold this. with all the indicators on your side, all the important stuff is on your side, knowing that you can sell it, you can put a stop loss just above the previous high. So minimal downside, maximum, massive potential upside here if you shorted the stock. And look what happened, massive gap down, massive gap down. Now, the big question now is this an ABC or is it 1, 2, 3? So what we're targeting is, with this move down here, I measured it, transposed the fib measurement to here, the top of this B wave or wave 2, and then we measure 0.618. The golden ratio gives us our target of 296 for United Health. So that is potentially an ABC complete, and if that's complete, we'd rocket to new highs up here. Or alternatively, it's just wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. We would still probably get a bounce wave 4 and then a further wave 5 down. So either way, we're actually at another good risk reward place. So like we had up here, this one isn't quite so good because we could actually extend further down, but there is a good risk reward trade here, potentially to go long with a stop loss just below, minimal downside, potential, a lot of upside there. So that's a possibility, but bear in mind, if it's 1, 2, 3, this wave 3 could actually go quite a bit further. In the same way as this first wave 3 here went 2.618, this wave 3 here could actually go, instead of 1.618 I've got as the target here, it could carry on to 2.618 or even more, 4.236. These are very important Fibonacci numbers. So I'm just saying it's good risk reward. Nobody knows the future for certain, but we have these indicators that we can use to our advantage. They're not absolutely predictive, but they give us a good indication of where things are likely to go. So we could have made a lot of money on this United Health.
No doubt about that. That's a massive move.
Yeah, and it's a really nice validation of how indicators work, especially how Elliott Wave works. And as I say, this is a beautiful 5-wave move down, 3-wave move up, and then you're going to get 5 waves down, precisely what's happened. So you don't get much better than that in trading terms. I'm looking now at where we're at because we had a lot of good news out with Trump, scaling back on tariffs, etc. But remember, those tariffs are only delayed; they're not being eliminated. I think, is it 30 days, Bruce, or is it
90 days? Well, I don't know. There's several different deals. I think the China deal is 90 days.
Yeah. So it's a big question now. Is there going to be a bit like when Trump won the election, markets rallied. When he was inaugurated, markets dumped. And we've recovered a lot since then, but there's still a lot of questions to be asked. Because again, some good news out of Trump with these tariffs being pulled back, but then it's only for 90 days and it will be revisited. And then we're seeing, I think at the moment, Russia's not playing ball with these peace talks in Turkey. So there's still lots of questions to be asked. So to try to get a picture or an indication of where we really are going, and there's two sides to every story. I'll probably just visit somebody who follows me on X, and he's put his interpretation down. There's always two sides to every story. Nobody's correct all the time. But as long as you're aware of both sides, you can actually manage your risk reward accordingly and hopefully make some decent trades out of it. So I'll look at SPX next, not SPX. We'll look at dollar index, next. Dollar index, we've had a good move down on dollar index. I'll probably go longer term. Let me just have a look at weekly, see if that gives me more. Yeah, weekly is a good one to go for. So this actually shows what my expectation is. This is my expectation. Again, there's no certainty, but the last time we had this peak here back in November 21, was it? Sorry, it's back in September 22, wasn't it? September 22. I think that was around the FTX low, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's when we saw the peak in the dollar index back here at 114. So we can see here a real high in the dollar equated with a drop, a low in cryptocurrency, in Bitcoin, for example. So what we're seeing from there is, and we're always talking about, Elliott waves. We've got a move down here labeled as wave A. We've got an ABC higher in wave B, and then we're working on 5 waves down in wave C. So in waves, so this is basically a really important move because if it's a larger ABC, Following that, you're going to get a massive rally. Now, if we get this massive rally, bear in mind this high here in dollar index equated to the Bitcoin low, the FTX low in the markets, not just crypto, but in particular crypto. We got the low in the crypto markets here with the dollar high. So if we push down a bit more, yes, we may have a bit more to go down potentially with the dollar. That might be good for risk assets like Bitcoin and some other assets. So we might have a good time ahead in the near future. But if we then rally to new all-time, well, not all-time highs, but new highs here, multi-year highs for the dollar, that would likely equate with a massive sell-off in crypto. That's the likelihood. So there are a lot of uncertainties ahead for us. So let's just focus on this final move down, this final C wave. We've got basically wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, got an ABC wave 4, potentially moving down in wave 5. That might be good for risk assets in the shortish term. As I say, following that, all bets are off. Really, I'm quite concerned about markets longer term, but short term, I still think there's some more fuel in the tank to potentially go higher. Just skip on the monthly there, and you'll see again. We've got this big move higher. We've got a potential move lower, and then I think we're going to rally much higher in the dollar.
Yeah, I agree. Well, all these trade deals are in US dollars.
Yeah.
So that should spike the dollar. I was actually expecting it already to happen, but the markets are falling out anyway, so I don't know.
I mean, dollar is still basically, regardless of these trade deals, which I think will be probably a bit of a disappointment, because trade deals, they sound great, billions, trillions, whatever. They sound fantastic, but actually a lot of it is just movement of trade from one. Instead of trading with one country, they're actually moving the trade to another country. And so it's not necessarily quite as positive as it sounds. And again, there's, whether people actually follow through with these commitments is another big question. What is the to actually, when people commit and say we're going to do a 500 billion deal, how do you ensure that that deal actually goes through? They can make announcements. It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to happen. It sounds great at the moment. And that's a little bit like, as I say, when Trump was won the election, sounded great, markets pumped, and everything that was going to be done with the crypto strategic reserve and all these things sounds great. But then actually the implementation, what happened with the crypto strategic reserve? What happened with it? The news came out, it's amazing for crypto, for Bitcoin. What actually happened? Same with these trade deals. It's amazing, $500 billion deal here and there, but is it actually going to be implemented? The actual delivery is what's really important longer term. So that's what I'm questioning. And with the dollar index here, if we do, as I've got charted here, go to new highs above that previous, from here, if we rally higher, that's going to be negative the markets. The dollar is a safe haven currency, so money's going to come out of risk assets, pile into US treasuries, and that's going to be negative. And how could we confirm that? Let's just have a look at the dollar yen. So dollar yen again is set, as far as I'm concerned. We've got an A, a B, and a C here. We've got potentially quite a lot further to go down in the C wave. That could be negative markets. We could even have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be the beginning of a 1, 2, 3 down. Sorry, I'm just jumping about a bit, but I'm just saying there's potential, a lot of downside for dollar yen. That is really the risk trade. If dollar yen does go down, then that's going to be really negative for risk assets. And at the moment, what's important is I'm looking at the monthly candles. Each one of these candlesticks is 1 month. We got a massive top signal around here, moving down sharply. Now this green candle is not yet finished. We haven't finished the month. Now, if this green candle finishes down towards the red, it means that dollar yen has sold off a lot. That means yen strength. That means unwinding of carry trade. And I'm just saying at the moment, the trend is potentially quite a bit further down for dollar yen. That bodes pretty negatively for risk assets like
and just to be clear, when we say down, that's the strengthening of the yen and the dollar is going down.
So when you're going down, the dollar's going down, the yen strengthening. That's correct. Yeah. So when you get unwinding of the carry trade, it basically means yen debts are being repaid. That means money is piling back into the yen. And that's why, so all these borrowings, people borrow from yen because it's basically very, very low interest rate. So you borrow from a low interest rate currency, you invest it in something that yields higher. It could even be US Treasuries, for example, or it could be, I mean, let's just say US Treasuries for one example. But then when trouble hits, in fact, US Treasuries isn't a great example. Let's say S&P 500. You put it into S&P 500 because you expect some great returns from the S&P, and you're borrowing your money at really low interest rates from the yen. But if the S&P starts to go down, people get worried. They think, well, I've got this yen debt to repay, and if my investment is going down, I won't be able to repay it. So they actually cash in their investment. Money piles back into yen to repay the debt. So there's a downward spiral. It means the S&P is going down because people have to sell to repay this yen borrowing. So that's the unwinding of the carry trade. So basically it's a sort of it just piles on the pain, unfortunately. Once you start to see the yen carry trade unwinding, it can be pretty negative. So I am expecting, or it's looking like, I should say, this green candle at the moment could well end up much lower. So we've got quite a bit to go to the end of the month. We're only halfway through. So if this ends up red, it's a very negative sign for risk assets. So I'm just showing you that potentially, you know, we could be seeing in the near future, not straight away, but in the near future, some dollar strength, and we could be seeing some yen, even more yen strength. So they're both negative signs for risk assets. So let's just look at the SPX, the S&P 500. That's monthly. My ideal scenario is that we still have a fifth wave higher to go. So we're 1, 2, maybe 3 up here, 4, and hopefully a fifth wave higher to new all-time highs. I'm hoping, but actually, if you look on the shorter term, if I go on the daily, there's some questions over that. So potentially, we may have already peaked in the SPX, the S&P 500. There's a real possibility because from the all-time high that we had, we've actually got potentially a nice ABC down. That's three-wave correction. Well, that's good because following a three-wave correction, you're going to push higher, which is exactly what happened. And we had some nice divergences in place over certain timescales. But we're actually approaching another divergence in the opposite way, which would be a hidden bearish divergence potentially from where we are now, or even from higher levels. So this ABC, I'm saying potentially we might go a little bit higher on SPX, but there's real risk of it being ABC down, ABC higher. So following 3 down, 3 up, you then get 5 down. You're going to get a big move down no matter, I believe. So if it is 3 down, 3 up, we're going to get a big sell-off. So again, it lines up with what our expectations are for the other assets. Now, everyone's really bullish on Bitcoin. Here's, by the way, the divergence. Even if we move to where we are currently now today, where the price is, you can see lower highs on price. You can see higher highs on corresponding RSI. That is bearish divergence. Now, this could continue. It all depends on what happens now with this. It could continue a bit higher, and we would still maintain bearish divergence as long as the slope of this line here for the price highs is downwards, and this is clearly upwards on RSI. As long as that's sloping downwards, that means we have hidden bearish divergence. It's telling you of lower prices to come. And we saw on United Health how predictive that can be. So I'm nervous in these markets still. We've had a bit of a rally, but actually not much to be made because markets have been very up and down. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin gives me a little bit more hope, but actually long term, if we scroll out long term, we're just focused momentarily on the short term. We've got potentially 5 waves higher on Bitcoin from this low here that we had at 74. If we've got 5 waves higher, that's fantastic. Because if it is 5 waves higher, yes, we'll get 3 waves back, but then we could get we should get another rally that would take us to new all-time highs. So that's one scenario for Bitcoin. But looking longer term, we need to start thinking about, are we potentially somewhere? In fact, let me look at really long term. Let's look at the full picture of Bitcoin right from the beginning, as it were. I think it's important that we do this every so often. There we go. Bitcoin pretty much from the beginning, from when price was next to nothing. We've got potentially wave 1 up. That was that, if you remember, years ago, it got to 20,000 and it fell back. Everyone thought it was dead. Fell back to 2,000 something. So that's wave 1, wave 2. Got potentially 3, 4, 5. I've labeled that as wave A. It could actually be wave 1. It's 1 or A. Then we've got an ABC down for the B wave. The reason I've got it labeled as A, B rather than 1, 2, 3, I mean, it actually could potentially be 1, 2, 3. So there's still potential bullishness here. If it's 1, 2, 3, we get a wave 4. But we need to be careful. We've had a move down to 74. If price were to continue down, if it dips below this 69 here, wave 1 here will be invalidated. Then it's guaranteed this will be wave ABC. That would be really negative for Bitcoin long term. So we just hope that 69,000 line in the sand I've talked about on previous shows, we do not want that to be breached. If it's breached, Bitcoin's in big trouble. At the moment, we're actually really safe. We dipped down to 74K. We pushed up now over 100K, over 101K right now as we speak. So as long as we don't dip down below that 69, things are fine. But that's the line in the sand. It's really, really important. If this is ABC, it means Bitcoin's in for some big trouble. But if it's 1, 2, 3, then we just have a bit of a correction and we're rallying up again to new all-time highs. And, you know, it could be big all-time highs, could be 160K, you know, it's entirely possible. So there's potential brightness ahead, but we just need to be aware of both sides. As I showed you with the currencies that we looked at, with the S&P 500, there's potential risk. So this is the long-term view. I've got it labeled as ABC because I'm worried about the markets. If we peak on a wave C, then we're going down much lower. Just going back to shorter term now. Even short term, potentially we could have this as 3 waves down and potentially ABC 3 waves higher, and then we could still have a further dip down. So I'm actually relatively what I would like to say really is, again, nobody knows for certain with trading. Nobody knows the future. They cannot predict it. This is the previous all-time high, 109,000. It's a very, very important level. And that's what we need to look for in trading, is important levels that act as risk-reward barriers. As we approach that risk-reward barrier, it gives opportunity for fantastic trades. Now, you can actually trade even both ways. You could trade to the upside with a stop loss just below, or, I mean, ideally, if you break above it, by the way, you would normally retest that level. That's the time to take a long trade with a stop loss just below. Or if it doesn't break above it, when you get to that level, you could actually do a sell trade with a stop loss just above. So you can even have 2 trades on at once, 2 trade setups. You can have a short trade and a long trade with stop losses in the opposite directions. One of them will work out in your favor. One of them you'll end up with a loss. But the thing is, your loss will be small and the potential for profit will be massive. So an upside break could take Bitcoin. It really could take it to 160, could take it to the moon. We know the interest there is in buying Bitcoin. So if we break that previous all-time high, there could be some real bullish follow-through there, and we could go massively higher. That would mean your short trade gets stopped out, you lose some money, you know, a small amount because your stop loss will be close, but the gain will be massive. But if we reject it at that level and price comes down, then your short trade would be triggered with a stop loss just above. So if price were to break higher, your stop loss gets hit, you lose a little bit. But if it goes down, you're actually likely to have you know, quite a substantial move down to probably below that 74,000. But still, my real hope would be it doesn't breach the 69,000 level. Finally today, there's loads we could go through, but finally I just want to touch on Ethereum because Bruce is talking about these horrible gas fees with Ethereum. Well, actually, they had a, let me just show you on my X feed, in fact. Yeah, Ethereum had an upgrade. It was called the Petra upgrade. It was actually...
they fixed the fees? Am I behind the times?
Yeah, so they had an upgrade which reduced the fees massively. So it reduced the fees. It's up the validator staking. They've raised the cap there from 32 ETH to over 2,000 ETH, which actually is a bit more concerning because it is more centralized, of course, but the fees have dropped 70%, Bruce. So
Wow.
since that Petra upgrade, so that actually explains why we've had such a nice pump in Ethereum.
Well, as well, I'm sure it was coordinated because this was the most shorted of the main digital assets by institutions over the last few months. Excuse me.
Yeah, so just look at the date on this, Bruce. So the upgrade was May the 8th. So just look at May the 8th, what happened to price following the upgrade. Just look at those green candles there. So if I just open it out a bit more, that's why. So at this point, and this talks again about risk reward. I was talking about all these consolidations that we can see over and over again. And it looked like basically this was just another consolidation, ABC, but then we got this upgrade and just look what happened to price. We got a breakout to the upside. So potentially
it was like 20% a day and then 30% the next day. I mean, it was like, I'm sorry, 10% the next day. It was like 30% over 48 hours. Major move.
I mean, just on this upgrade, basically price was at the upgrade was 1,800. We're now 2,800. So that is massive. I mean, if I just put my little measuring thing on here just to show what the there it is. That's annoying. There it is. Yeah. So okay, we can see there 51%, 52% increase in price. So that's quite nice. 52% increase in just a matter of days. So there's a massive trade to be had there. Interestingly, though, it's only risen to 50% of this fall. Now, 50%, although it's not a Fibonacci number, it's actually very important. Things often retrace to 50%. So I'm a little bit concerned again about this. It's another good risk reward area to potentially short it. I'm not convinced that Ethereum, I mean, that was a great upgrade, reducing fees. And that was actually, I've been looking at various projects and what chain are they on, and I've avoided anything that's on the Ethereum chain. But it's actually now reopens the discussion on should people be using Ethereum as the chain to build.
Listen to Matt, guys. Listen to that. This guy's been the biggest bear on Ethereum over the past few months I've seen.
Yeah, I mean it was negative, but we've had a break.
It was. Nothing went worse than this one, I think.
Yeah, and I think it was actually, it was validated. But then again, looking at risk reward, we had ABC higher. Looking at, when you get this, it's basically completed ABC. It's risk reward once again. You can do exactly what I said on Bitcoin. You can go long and you can go short together with stop losses just above and below. Clearly, you got a 50% break to the upside, so your long trade won out. Your short trade would have got stopped out, maybe for 5%, something like that. You could have lost 5% on one side of your trade and gained 50% on the other. That's 10-to-1 risk reward. That's the way you need to trade. It's all about risk reward. So right now we hit the 50%. You got another risk reward barrier. Again, I'd be looking at long short trades potentially there because you never know for certain. Anybody who predicts the market is going up is just guessing because nobody knows for certain. That's why I love risk reward trades. Actually, sometimes doing opposite trades. It means you'll get some losses, but they're small losses, but your gains are big. Sometimes you'll get spikes and you get stopped out both ways. So it's not always the answer, but it is actually a really nice way to trade to minimize losses, maximize gains. And yeah, as I say, sometimes you get two losses because you get spiked out both ways. But if you're really good with your analysis, you'll usually minimize that. You can work out roughly where spikes might go to. So that's the way to trade. So I've got upward break here for Ethereum, question mark, because as I say, we reached 50%, which is a common turning point. So potentially this would be A wave down, ABC for a B wave higher, potentially. I've got it labeled as an X wave, doesn't matter. It's whether it's X wave or B wave. The next move could potentially be downward. So risk reward wise, I'd be potentially going short with a stop loss just above this 50%. Probably even a bit late to go short now. We've already dipped quite a lot. I mean, that peak was 2,800, just about, somewhere around 2007 or 8. With 2005, yeah, you could still squeeze in a trade there, a short trade potentially. I think there's some negativity to come through in the markets. Solana, by the way, peaked at 180 something just a day or so ago.
yeah.
And once again, I've got it as potentially, A wave down, B wave higher, potentially a further push down. But I'm just really hoping we don't breach that 69K on Bitcoin. I'm hoping, actually, my ideal scenario would be we do push down, but we don't breach 69. We just go just above 69. I would be really interested in going long from that level. If we could go long from just above 69, 70,000 or somewhere, with a stop loss just below 69, because that's the line in the sand, potential upside to take us then to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. That would be a really nice trade. Right now, though, the trade for me is potentially a short trade because we got this bearish divergence in place. That is a good level for a short trade with a stop loss just above again. There's a great trade to be had there. Just finally, I guess, I know I keep saying finally, but we're seeing oil with predicted low oil prices. Yeah, we got a bit of a jump higher in oil. Everyone seems to jump. The moment things start to move in the other direction, everyone says, oh, oil's going higher, etc. But I still think there's actually downward pressure to come on oil. We had some time ago, we had some bearish divergence in oil. The trend is still very much downward in oil. I think there's further down to go. And as we've said, possibly into the 40s or below even. So far, I think we just had a correction higher, and I do think there's lower to go in oil. And again, another final, we should probably just touch on what's the news coming out today. We've got retail sales expected to fall flat, which might not be good for the market. Could be starting to see a result of tariffs. We haven't seen anything major as yet. Inflation came out the other day lower than expected. We've got PPI today as well, coming out potentially quite a bit higher. Let's see how high. So these are very, very important metrics. And then obviously, if you look at the outlook for the rates, so June, we've got 91.7% chance that rates are going to stay on hold in June. So we had a hold this time round. We've probably got another hold in June. It's actually also predicting, at the moment, the market favors another hold in July. And the first drop that we're likely to potentially get would be looking at the September rate decision, where the majority is in favor of a cut, a 25 basis point cut in September. So the next two meetings look as though they're going to be on hold again, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Markets like stability. And if interest rates are proving to be appropriate at current levels, it means the market's not in too bad of a state, doesn't it? So short term, I think things are potentially looking okay, certainly according to interest rate expectations. But longer term, I've got some big negative question marks hanging over the market of where we might go. So hope that's okay, Bruce. I know I've gone on a bit longer today because we've been away for some time. But
yeah.
Hopefully, thanks so much for listening. Look forward to catching up. What day is it today, Bruce? I lose track.
I know, me too. So today's Thursday, so tomorrow's Friday. I know you take Friday off sometime. I am planning on doing the show if you're around.
Yeah, great stuff. Look forward to joining you then. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Bye. Cheers. The great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report, world-class analysis that we get on the Impact Money Show here daily, except when I'm traveling around the world. One day soon, this show is going to run even without me. Mark my words. I'm going to have an interview queued up here from when we were in Dubai. Let me just see here. Video file. Here we go. Maria Spartalis. We really had a great time there in Dubai. Very successful trip. Closed 20 million, folks. We closed 20 million. Big stuff. This is Maria Spartalis. I'll let her speak for herself here.
And we are live here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit at the beautiful Mandarin Oriental Hotel in downtown Dubai. It's like sunny outside, of course, and it's really feeling sunny inside. So there's so many wonderful people here. Speaking of wonderful people, I have with me here Maria Spartalis. She is on the circuit here, big-time banker. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to Global Family Office Investment
Hello.
Summit.
First of all, I want to thank you to be a host of my panel. It was amazing.
Welcome.
I was born in Ukraine. I live in Europe 25 plus years. I'm a private banker on my background. I've been working with the assets of millionaires, billionaires of three categories. Old money, new money, BAP, crypto related, and money of celebrities. Over 20 years, I've been a director of Credit Suisse, of the first crypto bank Switzerland, working with international global clients, and I've been bringing over 2 billion euro assets in these banks. Right now, I'm sharing my expertise on this conference together with investors, with the business founders, and I'm happy to be here in Dubai.
Well, you really did some cool stuff. I know. I'll let you. You were meeting with someone that's fairly famous, or a cousin of somebody fairly famous. With one of the chats that we were having. Can you talk a little bit about that?
About
I know that's
famous
part
people.
of your. It's part of your deal.
Yes, sure. But famous people, celebrities, they are maybe powerful outside, but they are fragile inside.
Yeah.
They have their space, they have their financial situation, and it's important to have this experience of banker, of lawyer, to protect the assets, to understand the tax situation in the world, to make a strategy how not only to earn money, but how to save them long term for the family, for the ancestors. So this is very exciting business to work with the special people in this world and to be helpful for them, to do a good, valuable contribution in their lives.
Well, it is an amazing space to work, right? You're working with people, you're helping people.
Yeah.
Where are you based now? I mean, you seem to be traveling a lot, but where do
I'm
you call
based in
home?
Zurich, Switzerland,
Okay.
and my second home is Vienna, Austria, and I have a couple of other homes in Europe, but my home and my soul is Miami, Florida.
We love Miami too.
They
So,
love US.
yes, the U.S. is hot right now. It is so hot. I mean, you really can't. People may not talk about it, but they're all thinking about it. We have a president that just says whatever. You never know really what he's gonna say next. He knows how to lead the people. I'm gonna do a great, huge announcement. He says,
Yeah.
and nobody knows what it is.
Look, I'm anti-political. If the ladies would be a president, we would cancel the war. We would cancel all situations which are going on in the world now, and we would spread the money for people, for children, for sustainability. So I'm out of the politics.
Yeah.
I respect all nations, all good people,
Yeah.
all sustainable minds in this world. And I'm here as a financial serving advisor to protect good people to lose money in such a situation.
Amazing. So, talk to me about. I know we'll be back in Miami in November.
For sure.
Yeah, we're
Especially
doing
it's
the
my
Global Family
birthday.
Office, and it's your birthday.
Yeah, okay. Happy birthday, Miami. Yes.
So, when you come to an event like this, what is your goal?
Okay, my goal, first of all, being a speaker on this stage, to share new directions, where to move, my experience, to speak personally with visitors of the conference after the stage, and to come to some common point of views, understandings, to share different experience. This is the first goal.
Yep.
And we are here in Dubai, where all nations of the world meet. It's like a free platform, very anti-political, welcoming all congresses, all customers. So here we go. We love Dubai.
We do love Dubai. It is such a wonderful place. Nice and safe. The traffic, though, we've been coming a long time. Traffic is pretty bad at the moment. So if you were to talk to our audience, if they wanted to contact you, what type of person are you looking for, and how do they contact you?
So generally, I can consult any person, but my main target group are millionaires, billionaires, because I'm working with the high level capitals, you know. So you can contact me via LinkedIn, Mariah Sportales, and there are all my phone numbers, emails there, and I will be always for you, even if you don't have a million, because each human being has some money and needs some advice, and here we are.
Here we are. Well,
I
thanks
will
so much.
protect your money. I will protect the future capital of your families, for your ancestors. This is my goal on this earth.
Yeah, it's an amazing message.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thanks
for
so
having
much
this
for coming
interview.
on.
I'll see you in Miami.
See you in Miami.
Hey Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the Trade Copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the Trade Copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-bit, TOOBIT. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously, with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with a credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.
Your voice is powerful. Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.